Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's Pick a Read. Question this week is going to be, what is going on with them? Them can be whoever you're asking about. Could be romantic, family, friend, work, whatever you got going on. If you're questioning somebody, whoever you're thinking about, choose that way. Think about them first and then choose the rock. I'm going to put rocks out in a second. For the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Doon. Is that correct? Yeah. So it's a very ornate box. Just got it. Really like this deck, so thought I'd throw it in here. For the supportive oracle cards, another deck I really like, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Okay. So how I'm going to do this one is kind of, I think, how I did the last one. I'm going to put out the rocks. And just center on the rock you want, and I'm going to use the full decks for each choice. If I can get these on here so they're semi... Should I have a stand for this? There, that probably works good for that. It's a little cockeyed, isn't it? I'm also going to put one of these messages with it. Let's see if we can... Yeah, okay. So message with each one too. Pull back a minute. So here are the 5 piles. The first one I'm going to do is going to be Lapis Lazuli. Second one will be the Tiger's Eye egg here. Third one will be the Quartz crystal, which I think I put that upside down actually. I think it's supposed to be like this. What is that? Ew. What's on that? Okay, there's that. The fourth one will be the rose quartz, and the final one will be the amethyst. Okay, so we'll keep this one out. Let's move these over here in order so that I don't forget what way to do them. Do one more with that. Get rid of that. I'm just going to push that on over. Okay. Alright, so the first one. Let's get the first one over here. Amethyst. Oh, no. Yeah, sure, James. Lapis Lazuli. Lapis Lazuli. And I don't always notice the little wish band, but I did notice it this time, so that might be like a wish coming true, or maybe if you want a wish for a resolution, we can go for that. So the question again is, what is going on with them? And hopefully we can find out anything you can do to help. So the first, wow, all the cards just flew out. That's fun. These cards came right out, right side up, so we'll keep those. It's one of those new decks, so you know, it's kind of glossy. Apparently I have a hard time holding on to it. Let's see how this goes. Okay. This deck is like giving me some issues here. This is interesting. Okay. Let's try it with this other. That was very interesting. I'm kind of like curious why. It's like that deck was a little bit uncooperative. And even this one, I'm like getting a lot of air current. So I'm wondering if there's a lot of communication or the need for communication, one of the two. Either there's too much or too little communication. It feels like it's one or the other. Because it's kind of like, with the way the air is going so far, it's kind of like it's pushing things in the wrong direction, which could either show that there's a need for it or there's too much going on. I'll do that like that. What's going on with them? And literally, they're all on their side. 5 of Wands, 2 of Swords, and then the Acceptance. And I'm noticing the Acceptance is reversed. It's almost like they're trying not to complain about something. What does this say? Hidden addictions? Oh, okay. Hidden addictions. Oddly enough, I do see Lapis Lazuli as a communication stone. And I almost feel like somebody's holding something back. I'm also, like, with that wish band, I feel like be careful what you wish for. Somebody's having a hard time accepting something. And they're holding something back. They're trying to hold back controversy. It's almost like they're doing something that they know other people aren't going to approve of. But it's going to a part, like right now, whatever you're looking at with this person and you're wondering what's going on, it's kind of like the cracks are showing. The cracks are showing. They're having a lot of problems. The Five of Wands, like the fact that this is all on its side, it's kind of like, it makes me feel like this is what they're trying to do, but it's not completely working. It's like they're trying not to let people know what's going on. They're trying to avoid conflict, but it's not really like they're that successful with it. And they're kind of in this quasi in-between mode where they're trying to avoid, they're trying not to say anything, yet at the same time they're kind of giving it all away. They're trying not to get in arguments, yet at the same time they're getting in arguments, trying to avoid arguments, they're getting into arguments, is what I'm getting. It's hiding, they're trying to hide a real problem. For some people, it's like maybe there's an abusive relationship, or it could be substance abuse. It could be like self-hurting. There's a lot going on here. For some people, they could be suicidal, and they're trying to hide that. I don't exactly know how that works. But the way that the acceptance, like, it's reversed from everything here. Like, acceptance and these two cards are not going up the same way. Like, if I move them this way, acceptance is upside down. If I do them the other way, the other two are upside down. So in other words, they have to give up this fight to accept what's really going on with them so they can really start to fix it. This is what's going on with them. So I feel like that's the first part of the answer. Like, what's going on? There's something really wrong. One way or another, there's something really wrong. Hidden addiction could also be spending beyond your means, by the way. So this person could be like, they make it look like they have more than enough money to do this, to do that, and another thing, and they keep getting themselves deeper into debt, and they're coming to a brick wall where they're not going to be able to do it anymore. So keep that in mind. All right, so this all matches. It's a very nervous energy too, by the way. And the fact that the way I was shuffling and everything was going all over the place and the air was flying all over the place, like there's a lot of chaos trying to keep order, if that makes sense. Like the more they try to keep it in the terms that they want to keep it in, the more chaos they create. All right, so that's what's happening. This over here should be like, hopefully a positive influence, if possible. Maybe you can have. So there's a change. Well, change needs to happen. Okay. So depending on that one. Now, ironically, I feel like all of these cards are good cards. I'm hearing my voice reverberate back to me, so I hope you're not catching that on camera, but I'm hearing it. This is really good, but I'm feeling like the reason you're coming to this is not just for you to know that this is happening. It's not just so you can be like, oh, okay, that quiets my nerves. For those of you this is hitting with, that's not the reason. I feel like giving this person options, trying to give this person a safe place to talk out their problems, and to kind of like... I'm really not worried for the people coming to this really enabling anybody. I just don't feel a worry with that. I don't know why, because I know that's a trap for a lot of people. Like to try to give somebody a place to talk safely and openly about what they're going through, and sometimes they get sucked into enabling a situation and not really helping it, but perpetuating it. I'm not seeing that as a problem here. I'm seeing that you giving this person options and showing this person a way out is going to lead to change. And then you got the Sun card and the World coming in for them. Like, I feel like the first step for them is to like just admit what's really going on. And just keep in mind, this problem may seem astronomical to you, or it may also seem minimal. Whichever it seems for you, I feel like either way, this person sees it as a huge problem, as astronomical. Just know that they see it as astronomical. I feel like you got to try to keep kind of like a poker face either way. So either if it's way more than you thought it was, or if it's way less than you thought it was, either way, realize to them it's a mountain. And you can't make them feel like you also think it's a mountain or you don't think it's anything to worry about either way. You got to kind of hold a poker face is what I'm getting with this, so that they feel like they get some confidence in you, which I feel like I don't know if that sounds like a lot to ask, but like when this person finally starts talking, brace yourself. And you got to be careful not to let them see your reaction. Because I feel like it's going to be extreme one way or the other. Like, oh, that's not really that bad. Or, wow, that's a lot worse than I thought. I don't know what we're going to do. Either way, they just need a safe place to talk it out. The answers will come. The possibilities will come. A lot of good things will come forward from this. Just brace yourself and have that poker face. I know there's nothing here with the cards that really say that. I'm just feeling it. Because I'm also, like I said before, I'm not worried about you enabling. I feel like just like you might be shocked one way or the other. Like, oh, that's not that bad, or oh my God, that's horrible. Poker face. You got to keep that poker face. They got to have confidence in you that when they're telling you something, you're not shocked or appalled, or like, even if it seems very minimal to you, like it's not that bad, like, oh, it's easy. Don't reply like, oh, that's easy to fix, because to them, remember, it's a mountain. If you just tell them it's an easy, simple thing, it's gonna kind of double back on them. So don't do that. Just have that poker face, like, okay, tell me how you're feeling, tell me what you're experiencing. Okay, let's try one step at a time, and just try the one step at a time. Whether you think it's easy or hard, no matter what way it seems for you, just realize to them it's a mountain. One step forward in the positive direction, whatever that positive direction is going to make monumental changes. Because I feel like the first step for them is telling somebody and really just feeling like they can tell somebody what's going on. And then just like, all right, for example, if it's like a really bad relationship and this person's in a violent place and you're like horrified at what you're hearing, because I feel like somebody's going to be horrified. Okay, what are we going to do for tonight? Who can we call tomorrow? There has to be some type of hotline. There has to be like some type of national hotline you can call to get other ideas, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, just start from that. Like, let's look it up on the internet. What do people in these situations usually do? And just one step. That's it. Maybe an international hotline, somebody they can talk it out with. Maybe you can be there with them, so they could have somebody to sit there with them, so they can talk to somebody on the phone and feel like they have somebody on their side, just in case they think, somebody else isn't going to understand or whatever that's going to be. That's all the first step needs. Whatever the first thought is to you, like, all right, here's the first step, let's go from there. You know what I mean? If it's something you think is easy, make it, like, if you think it's a really easy thing to fix, chop it up into small pieces however you would fix it, and just do baby steps with it, because it will be successful, it will help them. But be careful not to say, oh, that's easy, oh, we'll just do this and you'll be out of that mess. Because I feel like for those of you who it seems really simple to, it may be masking a bigger problem. Just keep that in mind. So just handle the first problem, whatever this first problem is. If it seems really simple to you, just realize it might be just the tip of the iceberg. Go with it, baby steps, and then just see where it goes from there. So just wear that poker face and just like, this is what we'll do, here's where we'll go. I feel like whoever's coming to this, whoever you are, I don't think you'd even be asking if it didn't mean something to you, if you didn't want to help. So I don't think you'd even be asking. I really don't think it'd be connecting. So I don't feel bad about saying any of this. I feel like it's going to make sense to the people who this really connects with. So I think I can let that go. All right, I think this one's good. All right, so that's Lapis Lazuli. Let's see if I can pick up this piece of paper. I can't pick up paper. You know why? I cut my nails. That's why. I'm like, I can't pick up this papers. Can't do it because I cut my nails. I can't pick up anything. All right. Don't you hate that? You cut your nails and you can't pick up any. I don't know why that happens to me. Like, it drives me crazy when they're long, and then it drives me crazy when they're short. Apparently, I'm never happy. That's just how it is. The second one. Tiger's Eye. Okay, let's shuffle for Tiger's Eye. What's going on with them, whoever they are. Let's see how the chart cards shuffle. It's interesting because the last one, the cards were a little difficult, but it completely matched that reading. I'm just seeing if they're going to be difficult again, because this is a new deck to me, so it's a little glossy, a little slippery. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so we got the tarot cards shuffled. Let's do the oracle cards. Tiger's Eye typically is about focus, determination. I want to say I've heard it connected with clairvoyancy too. So for some of you, you might have a clairvoyant thing, the way I understand it, just to be fair, because not for nothing, all over the world, people have their own definitions, it seems. Clairvoyancy to me happens outside of your mind. Like if you're literally seeing something in front of you and nobody else sees it, or unless somebody else is clairvoyant, they don't see it, that's clairvoyancy. Like you see, For example, some things that have happened to me, like I've seen a giant spider before, and I was like, what is that? And then it disappears, and I'm like, okay, am I just crazy, or what was that? Or I'll see people, and then they're not there anymore. Like, that's a clairvoyant thing, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes seeing ghosts is sometimes seeing ghosts can be clairvoyant. Usually when I see people, it's not really like the ghost form, it's just like they're there, and then they're not. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like if you see it and nobody else sees it, usually unless the other person's clairvoyant, I don't know. We're just going to leave it there. I feel like the people who are clairvoyant know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. Just move on. Don't worry about it. Alright, this is them, what they're going through. This is hopefully what's going to help. And there's a secret little card coming out over there. That might be extra advice. Not really planning that, to tell you the truth. It just kind of snaked out there at the end, so... But it's definitely separate. It's connecting the two. Okay, I feel like this is an added advice here. Okay, so what are they going through? What is going on with them? Why am I doing these little weird hand gestures? Who knows? I don't. And okay, alright. What does this say? Princess of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Emperor reversed. Okay. So what are they going through? And then we got these two cards, but I'm not ready to flip them over yet for some reason. So let's just get into this. What's going on with them? They're masking something. They're definitely masking something. I'm going to flip this. Whatever this is, if I can bring it over to me. Nervous but sincere. And I'm getting the nervous but sincere, the determination, the Princess of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the King of Wands reversed. All this together makes me feel like somebody's doing something behind the scenes to get what they really want. It looks one way on the outside, but they know what they truly do know what they want, or they don't. They do know what they want. But these two cards are stronger than this one. This one's just like a younger... Like, it's interesting. In this deck, they do the Princess and Prince of a suit, and then they do the King and Queen. And those, like, I don't feel any page energy in this deck, just the way they did it. Not that it matters, but... Because I don't see the Princess as a page, and I don't see the Prince as a knight. I don't see that. They have different feels to them. I'm getting they're trying to be nice on the outside, but they definitely know what they want. They definitely know what they want. I just feel like maybe they don't think there's any support for it. There is some confusion here. It's very, like, let's flip these cards, because I don't know what's going on here. Alright, so you got pleasure and release. It's like they know what they want, they're afraid they're not going to get it. They definitely know what they want to go for, but they're sticking towards the safe bet. It's almost like they want that sports car, for example, but they're like, they don't think they can afford it, so they're going for that mini hatchback, because they're like, at least that'll get me back and forth to work. But they know what they want, they just don't feel like they can get it. And they're kind of trying to move on. It's almost like I feel like you might be dealing with somebody who maybe you're interested in, but nothing is coming forward. For some of you, I feel like you're maybe wondering when so-and-so is going to ask you out or something like that. But they're not understanding that they have a chance. Because I'm feeling with this energy going on over on this side here with them, they don't realize that they could actually have what they want. There is a possibility for them to get what they want. But I feel like it's like, if you're going to equate it in a money sense, I feel like that makes it a lot simpler. It's like they want that beautiful house up on the hill, but they feel like they can only afford the double wide down in town. If that makes sense. So they're not even trying for it, because they don't feel like they can do it. They don't think they don't feel like they'll fit, or they'll be able to really, like, whatever it is they want, they know what they want, they just don't feel like they can have it. So they're trying to go with the safe bet. And they're almost like, I feel like they might give up on what they really want because they don't think they can have it. They don't think they can get it. And I feel like what you might be dealing with is like you're confused what they really want. I feel like you might be confused with what they really want. And I feel like they might be afraid to go for it because they don't think they can keep it or they don't think they can get it. One of the two. So if it is a dating thing, just for argument's sake, and you've given them every green light you can afford to give them to show you're interested, either they still don't get it or they think they can only have you for a short period before you'll move on and get bored with them. One of the two. Because something's a little weird with this. Because I feel like whoever this is, you do like them. You just don't understand what they're doing or what they really want. And I'm getting nervous, but what was the other word? But sincere. They do know what they want. They don't believe they can have it. So they're going for the safe bet. I'm not really a fan of this. It's really kind of like instead of really giving it a shot, really trying for whatever they want, they're just kind of opting out for the safe bet so that they don't have to worry about possible rejection. It's kind of like instead of going to school for what you really want, instead of going for that master's in art, taking the associates in business because you know that you can at least afford that and that there's a better future with that. Instead of going for what you really want or what they really want, they're going for the safe bet. That's kind of what I feel with that. It's weird that I just came up with that analogy, but there you go. Anything else I need to say with what's going on with this person? Because I feel like definitely they just don't feel like they can have it, so they're going for the safe bet. All right, so there's double information here. The first part of hopefully what will make things better. Let's find out. No guarantee with tarot cards, you know. It's just going to show you what's there. Is this the Empress? The Empress. Oh, I love that card. Empress is very powerful, very beautiful. Six of Pentacles. That's another good card. What's this one? And the Seven of Pentacles. All right, so I like all these cards. What do we have for the Oracle card? Purity. This can work out. I feel like the reason, again, you're coming towards this because this person, well, I say again, but, you know, I'm saying that again because I said it in the first reading, or the first choice. This person means something to you. You actually do want to help them. And I feel like it's them coming clean what they really want. They need to hash out. So if it's a dating thing, I feel like there needs to be just a flat-out honest talk about what everybody wants. Just kind of like, no more games, no more trying to woo anybody. No more, you know, flashing lights and shiny this, shiny that. Just to sit down. What do we both want? Where do we both plan to go? Because not for nothing, sometimes you just got to put down the showboat shit stuff. And you just got to get to the nitty gritty. Like, is there really a chance here? What do we both feel? What do we both want? Because there's something about smoke and mirrors here that I'm not impressed with. I don't know why I have an attitude about that, but I just get like there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors here that's just cheating people out of what they really want. It's not working. So it's almost like, you know, playing some fun, you know, hard to get games in a sense, but not for nothing. Once in a while when people play hard to get, they end up getting nothing. I'm just saying. So I feel like this is saying whatever the weirdness is here, maybe you need to sit this person down and be like, listen, let's drop all the false pretenses. Let's stop trying to impress each other, whatever's going on here, and let's just talk about the nitty-gritty. What are your goals in life? What are my goals in life? And where do we both feel like we stand with this? Let's just put it out there. Is there something here or is there not? Purity, when I feel purity in this context, I feel like it's just both sides coming clean. Like, you want to help this person. It's almost like this person's like, I don't even want that. It's almost like they want that beautiful car, for example, if we're going to go down that road, or I want that beautiful house, or I'd like to go on a date with that beautiful person, and they know they want it, but when they're asked, when somebody asks them point blank, oh, do you want that car, or do you want that house, or do you want to date that person, they're like, no, I never would. No, I don't. Why would I do with that? I wouldn't want anything with that. Like, I feel like that's the energy I'm feeling on this side over with them. And it's just kind of like calling that person out, like, listen, if you don't really want it, why do you always gawk at it? Why do you always seem to be looking at all the magazines? Why do you always talk to that person? Why do you always want to look at that house? Why do we always drive by that house? You know, stuff like that. Like, if that's the truth, why do you keep doing X, Y, Z? And just cutting it right to the chase. Like, come on, are you sure you don't? Because let's just get to the nitty gritty and let's really talk it out. It's like the purity card in this one is like the jig is up. Like, come on, let's deal with it. Don't give me this false pretenses. I know somebody who, I don't have to deal with it. I don't want to talk about, all right, let's not get into the details, but I know somebody that you wouldn't expect, I don't know how to put that they do that constantly. They're like, if they really want something, they'll tell you they don't. It's the weirdest thing. I think it's the weirdest thing, but like it's almost like finding somebody like that and calling them out. Like, listen, I know you do. Let's just talk about it because this isn't helping anybody. You pretending you don't want something you obviously do. Okay. The Empress is on their side. The Six of Pentacles and then the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like this all this coming together is like you're gonna have to kind of like urge. I don't want to say urge, but like you have to like make this person feel comfortable if you really want to find out the answer here and you really want to help them. I feel like if you could really get them in a calm place and really get them talking honestly, I feel like you don't want to start off with like, you know, you don't want to start off with like the hard question. You want to kind of build up to it like a main event. How you doing? Great. Let's go grab something to eat. Start off with a couple smaller conversations, build it up. Start the conversation about said whatever it is, and then sooner like kind of lead into the direct point at some point. Like then when it seems like everything's warmed up enough to where they're just comfortably talking to you, then just kind of like get it right to the point. Like, all right, now that we're talking about said car, said house, said person, how do you really feel? Like, because it looks to me as if blank. And then go from there. Because I feel like if you warm them up enough with the Empress is smart. They have control. The Empress has control, but will not divulge secrets if they feel like they're secrets. Will not. You can't force the Empress to do anything she doesn't want to do. She is in control. So ultimately, you got to kind of work with that energy and make it feel comfortable. And if it feels like it can trust you, it'll come forward. All right, so what's here, the second part of this? Is that the wheel? What's this? An attraction. I feel like you can help this person, whether they're attracted to you or not, or you know what they're interested in, or you're trying to help them. For some of you, I feel like this is a brother or some type of sibling that you're trying to get them to like spill the beans on what they're doing and what they really want, and you want to help them. Once you get them to spill the beans, I feel like you know how to help them make this happen. The wheel, like I feel like if they just speak their true wants, they just speak out what they truly want, doors can open for them. And I feel like you can give them confidence to say, hey, don't shoot yourself in the foot before you even try. Let's at least look into it. You want it, let's look into it. Why not? We can at least look into it. Because the wheel turns and the attraction comes in here. And I feel like you're kind of excited for them. Like, no, I think you can have that. I think this can happen for you. So there's a lot of different ways. I mean, I know this is a general read. It is a pick a read. I feel like I'm getting flooded with all the ways this is going to hit for people. Whatever it is, when you finally like get them to kind of spill the beans, but they have to choose to, you can't make them. They have to feel comfortable, they have to feel secure, and then they will spill the beans. Once they spill the beans, I feel like that's completely puts it in your court. You could tell them, no, I think this can go your way, and this is why I think it can go your way. You seem to know something they don't. You seem to have possibilities, or you see possibilities, I should say, that they don't. They seem to be shooting themselves in the foot. They're limiting themselves, but you're kind of like, no, I think you can, and this is why, and this is how, or this is where you can start. You have a bunch of possibilities in front of you. And I feel like you're like, I think we can work this out. I think this can happen. Because I feel like if they spill the beans honestly to you, what they actually want, and be forewarned, you may think you know what they want. It may not be the case. You may find out when they actually spill the beans on what they actually do want. To you, it's like, well, that's not a big deal. Like you could possibly see a very easy way for them to get to A to B. And I feel like the wheel's going to turn, but they have to be comfortable. And it'll move forward. But it's getting them into this comfortable moment to where they'll spill the beans. Everything seems to change from there, but they have to be comfortable and spill the beans before anything can happen. You have this does not come forward if they don't willingly spill the beans. You could guess dead on, spot on. You could guess spot on. Doesn't matter if they're not offering that information up. So keep that in mind. Okay. Is there anything else I want to say about this before we shut this down? Keep in mind free will is at play. And you're dealing with somebody else's free will, so there's no guaranteed outcome here. It's in their court. If they don't want to let it go, if they don't want to spill the beans, some of you just might have to accept, because I feel like some of you are going to get this far and the other person won't spill the beans. you might just have to accept if they're not going to spill the beans that just there's nothing you can do. The power is on their side on this one. They have a lot of powerful cards. Everything up here on the top is kind of like in your realm, and it's all minor arcana, I'm noticing. They have, you know, 2 major arcana. What is that? Yeah. 3 major arcana, the world. They got a king. The princess is how they're coming forward. But still, there's a lot of energy here that's telling me it's all in their court. If they don't spill the beans, they have free will here. You can only suggest and try to help. It's still on them in the end. Okay. And that's what we have for Tiger's Eye. It's one of my favorite rocks. Okay. Let's pick this one up. Then we gotta get to the next one. That is upside down, they are, so let's fix those. Alright, the next one is going to be the clear quartz. Just gotta pull it over here. There we go, clear quartz. And we're gonna put that like that. So, for the people who chose clear quartz, what is going on with the person that they're asking about? What is going on with that person? And hopefully, what can they do to affect the situation in a positive way? Okay. I'm already getting like a feel here, like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Like, what do we need to do? I feel like there's a mountain of paperwork in front of me. There's literally not. But I feel like I'm at one of the jobs I've had in the past where there's a mountain of paperwork in front of me, and I'm just like, I can do it, but it's going to take me half my life. Well, that's curious. Okay, I think that's all we're going to do for those. So what is going on with them? The Star and what is this? The Princess of Cups. And I said this in one of the previous ones. This deck goes Princess, Prince, Queen, King, and I feel like the way I read cards, Queen and King are equal. Princess and Prince are equal the way I read them. I know historical, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm just telling you the way I read them. That's how I feel it, because I don't feel the page energy with the princess, and I don't feel the prince, or I don't feel the knight energy with the prince. I just don't. So, but if you feel something different, take what you need from it. I'm just telling you. When I'm feeling this energy, I feel like somebody's very hopeful, very intoxicated with a desire. Definitely feeling good about it. No, I feel like this is, well, it says waiting and angry. Okay, that's interesting. 4 of Wands and Trust. There's the picture for Trust in case you want to see it. What is going on over here? What is happening? Especially with waiting and angry. Which, the Star card with the Princess of Cups, that kind of makes sense with me. Like, they want something they think they should be having. It's almost like waiting for somebody, like pining for somebody. It doesn't have to be a person. Could be like, for some people it could be an inheritance. Or, you know, maybe like an opening at a job or a college. Something like that. The princess, like, well, the princess and prince aren't as powerful as the king and queen, that's for sure. But, well, not in most cases anyway. The Star card with it is kind of like feeling like something is really owed to them is what I'm getting. And very hopeful and very driven, kind of like you're waiting for somebody. They're waiting for somebody, they're waiting for something to happen. They feel like it's theirs, it has to happen. There's no other way to do it. Just sooner or later it will happen, but they're feeling like it's taking too long. They're getting very frustrated. Reality's starting to push in, like if it was supposed to happen, why hasn't it happened by now? I've seen this in certain other cases. It's reminding me of a reading I did for somebody where the person they wanted was in a relationship at the time, and they were waiting for them to break up so that they would have their turn with the person they thought they should be with. And the reading didn't go to their benefit. Let's just leave it at that. Not that I'm going to give out any specifics, and not like I would say the name of that person. So I guess that's not a problem. But it's basically what I'm seeing here. Like, I feel like the Princess of Cups and the Star card, even though it's a major arcana, I'm feeling like this is somebody wanting something that they can't have right now. And they're waiting for it, and it's making them angry. And it feels very intense. It feels really intense, like they're trying to make something happen, but it doesn't seem like... It seems like what they want, the experience they can, the details they can't. So if it's a specific person, like the love they're envisioning having with that person, they can have that, but just with somebody else. Or if it's a certain job they want, they can have that type of job, but not where they're trying. Like if it's somebody's job they want, they're not going to get that person's job. They might have to go somewhere else for it. Or like if it's a school or something like that they're waiting to get into, they're going to have to choose something else or some other place, but they can have something similar in a different place. I'm getting it's too specific. That's how this feels. And they're like very much centered on it. They feel like it's theirs. They feel like they have every right. It's almost like, especially with that princess feel, princess prince feel. I know it says princess, but I'm feeling princess prince feel. Kind of like they feel entitled. Like that is mine. It's my birthright. They have to give it to me. Now on your side, I feel like you see it from a different angle. And I feel like you're kind of stable where you're standing. And you're thinking they're going to figure it out. I almost feel like you don't realize how much they've invested in this thought. And nothing else is really bubbling forth from that right now. We might come back to this, but let's go on to what can make this better, because like, I just don't see the point in dwelling on that. All this is on its side, and that's self-reflection is coming in. Judgment is coming in. King of Cups on its side, Seven of Cups on its side, the Chariot coming in on its side. So all these three cards, when cards come in for me on the side, it's kind of like you're getting a bit of both, the upright and the reverse, which can seem complicated, but I don't think it's going to be complicated at all for this one. I'm getting, they're having a chance that whatever they want, I feel like I already said it, they're going to have a chance at something similar, but not the specific want that they desired. It's kind of like they wanted the specific person. Why does this look so strange to me? This looks really strange to me, this one. I feel like they're not understanding what's really in front of them. They're not getting what possibilities are really in front of them. So what's going on with them? What they want, they don't realize is right in front of them. It's kind of like saying, I want a new car, and I want this model, this make, and this color. And they're so centered on that. They're so centered. This model, this make, this color. This model, this make, this color. This model, this make, this color. If it's not this model, make, and color, if it's not all three of those things, well, forget it. I don't want it. I deserve the model I want, the make I want, and the color I want. Blah, blah, blah. I deserve that. I will have that. Meanwhile, so for example, say it's a sports car and they want a Porsche. I'm not good with cars, but they want to. They're like, I want a white Porsche. That's what I want. But somebody's willing to hand them a blue Ferrari. They're like, well, I don't want a Ferrari. I want a white Porsche. It's still like a beautiful car. It's still like it. The point is, they could have the joy they're looking for if they just let go of the details and allow something else to come in to fulfill the desire that they actually want. It's like, I don't know how else to say this. It's like pining after one person, not realizing that their happiness lies with another. And that's the best I can say. But if they're so stringent on it, like if they can't see past the end of their nose about it, I feel like that's literally what's happening here. Like they have this person has possibilities in front of them. They can get the experience they want, but not with the details they're demanding. That's what I'm getting. So, because judgment, ironically, it's kind of twofold here, which I don't know if that makes sense, but this is how I'm feeling about it. They're not going to get exactly what they want, but they are still going to get something that can fulfill their desires. If they can let go of the details, they can still have that joy that they want, just in a different way. But the joy, the experience is still there, just not with the details they're demanding. If they can let go of that demand and flow with it, just kind of go with what's coming towards them, just kind of like, if somehow you can convince this person to be like, hey, I know you really want that Porsche and you want a white Porsche, and that's great, but why not enjoy the blue Ferrari for now? Why not just give the blue Ferrari a chance and just enjoy that? And I already know that some of you are going to hit that roadblock, because I've heard it myself, where somebody will say right to my face, I can't go with that blue Ferrari, because if I have a blue Ferrari, nobody's going to give me that white Porsche because they're going to think I have a car. If we're going to equate this to people, that's what I'm actually thinking of. I can't go with so-and-so because if I go with this other person, when the one I really want is freed up and single, I'm not going to have a chance to go with them because I'm already going to be taken, or I'm not the person to do that. I wouldn't leave somebody to go with somebody else or whatever. I feel like this person could miss out on a lot because, I don't know, I just feel like, if you say you really don't want, I don't know, I just feel like it's not going to go their way. They just really should take that blue Ferrari. I don't know how else to say this. Because I'm feeling like they could be so stringent, and they can make so many reasons why, no, I can't do that, because if I take the blue Ferrari, then I won't have a place to put the white Porsche or whatever. They'll have a reason for it. They're going to have a pushback. And if it's about a person, they're going to give you a good reason for that too, a good reason in their opinion. It's up to them. It literally is up to them. For some of you, and I know this is how you're looking at it, for somebody out there, now, it's a general read, so if it doesn't hit with you, that's okay. That's cool. Don't worry about it. But for some of you, you're interested in somebody. They're interested in somebody else. They're not realizing the chance of joy and fulfillment they have with you. And you might not be able to convince them. When these three are on their side, I feel like if they give in and they give it a shot, they could be extremely happy and fulfilled. A lot of possibilities come their way. But especially with that Seven of Cups on its side, with these two cards flanking it, if they don't understand that this is a possibility that could actually work for them, it's literally a chance for them to get what they want. If they don't see it that way and they're very negative about it and they refuse to move forward, they could just miss out, because I feel like you might have to move on. If they're not willing to see you for the value, if you're one of the people that are like, I don't understand why this person's not moving forward, what do I need to do to get them to move forward? This is why they're not moving forward. They don't really understand the possibility in front of them. You might see it quite easily, but if they don't, it's like the last one I just did. There's a lot of major arcana cards, but it's like centered on the other side. They have free will. If they flat out refuse to see it, and they just fight against it, there's nothing you can do. It seems to be up to them. This is a chance to really see it. I feel like for those of you that's hitting that way, this is somebody you're interested in, and you're trying to get them to see the possibilities with you, there's going to be a shot going forward. At some point, there's going to be a pinnacle, and you're going to know when that happens. It's going to hit a point where you're going to be dead blank, do you want to do this with me or not? It's going to hit this moment where it's going to be very obvious. It's here or not. And if they walk away, you need to walk away too. That's all I'm saying. It's going to hit this one point, and if they're not backing down from the other, wherever they're looking at, and they're not willing to come towards you, I feel like they're saying, walk away from it. Let it be. They're just overly centered on something else. If they don't go towards you at this point, you're going to end up in the same way they are. You're going to end up pining for somebody who just won't go towards you. If this person won't value you, or at least give you a chance to find out the value you have, you need to walk away as well. So don't become this person. I feel like for those of you it's hitting for in a romantic sense like that, like you're trying to get somebody's attention, you're in danger of becoming this person. Don't become this person, because it's bad enough they're doing it. Don't mirror their same energy and end up pining for them while they're pining for somebody else. Just, you know what I mean? Don't pine for this person while they're pining for somebody else, if it's hitting that way for you. General read, whatever works for you. Free will, you know what I mean? All right, that's that with that one. Okay. Quartz, there's a lot of energy with that one too. Somebody very, this is what they're putting their energy in. Just don't mirror that energy. That's all I'm saying. Don't mirror that energy. Just don't. Just don't. There you go. I think that's it for the clear quartz. So I will put that one away. All right, what do we have for the rose quartz? Okay, there's that. Now, let's shuffle. So for those who chose the rose quartz, what is going on with them? The person you're asking about, what is going on with them? It flipped right over and I can see it from here. Okay. Rose quartz. Alright, we're going to just... Okay, we're going to do the oracle cards too. This side over here is what's going on. This is hopefully something that'll make it better, just so in case you're wondering. I just want to get some oracle cards out here for you too, so we can see. One face down card. Okay, so oh, this, I forgot I wrote this down. So telling stories, like it's reversed, I'm noticing. Because it's upside down. In case you want to see it, there you go. Now, I'm getting right off the bat that that doesn't have to be a bad thing. And, like, I have a hard I don't know. I'm fighting it. I gotta let go. So, because like telling stories, I'm like, I'm not sure that's a good thing. But they're like, just roll with it, because it's not completely bad. Okay, so just roll with it. Let's just roll with it. I'm just like... Alright, so it's almost like I'm wondering if somebody's like trying to bolster themselves a little bit, but you can tell like they're a little bit full of it. They're a little bit over the top. It could be nerves. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. The world reversed is telling me that somebody's making themselves... They're trying to make themselves look better than they actually are. But I'm still getting that that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Okay, well, let's see where it goes. I feel like somebody wants you to think better of them than they think of themselves. Okay, let's start with that. So that makes sense to me. Like somebody, like they might have a low self-esteem thing. It doesn't have to be a narcissist, so don't jump to that conclusion. Granted, some of you are definitely dealing with one of those. Some of you are. But I don't think the majority of you are. I think it's somebody with low self-esteem that feels like they have to make themselves look really, really glitzy and glamoury and really attractive and wonderful to you for whatever reason. Now, this doesn't have to be romantic at all. This could be a job situation. This could actually be a friend or a family member who just wants you to believe that you can trust them, or that investing in them or hanging out with them or whatever it is, that they're worth the time, that you can trust them, that they're good. But they're a little bit over the top, and I feel like you can see through it fairly easily. I also feel like you like this person. For those of you this is really hitting for, I do feel like you like this person. But you're noticing, like, I feel like I do this. Like, you're paying attention and you're listening. And you're not pointing out what you're hearing, but you're like, that doesn't match with that. It's kind of like you said last Tuesday, you were at Burger Barn for dinner. And then next thing I know, you're telling me how last Tuesday you were over playing golf at 5 p.m. And you usually eat dinner between 5 and 6, so that's got me curious. And then, you know, it's like you're hearing conflicting stories here. They're like, well, something doesn't make sense. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're doing what I do. You're like, you pay attention, you don't point out the obvious, or to you what the obvious is, and you're like, certain things aren't adding up, and maybe you're just confusing dates, but I'm not really sure if that's the situation. Maybe you're confusing your information, but to me it sounds like there's a bit of tomfoolery going on here. Somebody might be flat out lying, and I don't like that. But this is somebody you like, and it's almost kind of like you want to believe better, and you're also thinking at the same time, like, this person doesn't need to do this. They don't have to impress me like this. Actually, what they're doing is having the reverse effect. Because the Two of Wands above it here is telling me that you naturally just seem to like this person, but what they're saying and what they're doing, you're like, this doesn't match. It's kind of like somebody when you're going out on a first date with somebody, and they're trying to put forth that false ego, and this goes for any gender. Like they put forth this false front, like they're trying to be the facade that they think you'll be attracted to. They're not being their true selves, and you're like, I thought I liked you, but when I'm talking to you now, I feel like I'm just talking to a jerk. And I don't really like this person. Unless they drop that false facade, you're kind of like, I don't really understand what's going on here. Like, I don't really like the lies. I don't like what they're showing me. And for some of you, it's not lies. It's just literally a false facade this person is showing towards you. And you're like, that's not who you really are. And I know you I know that I experienced something different at some point. That's why I liked you at one point. But what I'm seeing right now is not working for me. The will is kind of floating up here. So I'm just going to bring it down here so you can see it. I feel like you're not letting this person know, but it's kind of like, I'm not sure what I can really do with this if they don't stop playing these games. That's kind of what I feel with this. Like, if they don't stop playing these games, I don't really know what I can do with this. It doesn't work for me. It just really doesn't. And I feel like you're a little conflicted, because like when I'm seeing the Lovers card here, it doesn't have to be romantic. Remember, it's a general read, blah, blah, blah. But you automatically like this person. It's how they're acting. It's this false persona. Whatever they're doing, whoever it is, however they match to you, there's some falsehood here. I don't feel like we have to go through 50,000 scenarios. I think if it's there, it's there. You know they're doing something that you're like, I like you, but I don't understand what you're doing because I know there's some falseness going on here. And you're thinking to yourself, I just might pass on this. I just might say no to this situation. If they had just been honest with me and just been their authentic self, they might have had a chance with whatever they wanted you to help them with. But I feel like you might pass on this and say no to them because you're like, that falsehood, that false face, that false front, that's just, you're saying, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know why you're doing that, but I think for right now I'm going to pass. No matter what context, if it's a family member, friend, coworker that wants something from you, or if it's a romantic interest that wants your attention, whatever it is, I feel like it's because of this false front. You're just like, I do like you, but I don't understand what you're doing right now. It makes me uncomfortable. For now, I'm going to say no. It doesn't mean a hard no, like not now, not ever. But for now, I'm going to pass. Now, this actually is good, actually. You saying no is good, is what I'm getting. The Five of Swords on the other side is telling me it's like, this is the fruitless win. This is when somebody, they don't completely lose, but they really don't gain anything at the same time. I feel like this person, whatever they want from you, I don't feel like they're getting it from you for right now. I feel like you're kind of like, well, not right now. And I feel like that's the type of answer you're getting. It's not a complete loss. It's not a win either at all. It's called the fruitless win basically because it's kind of like, it's like somebody winning a battle, but then losing 90% of their army at the same time. It's kind of like, well, I won this battle, but what do I have left to show for it? And like all the resources and men or people that it took to make it happen and everything that was lost is not, it just makes it look like it wasn't worth it. Technically one feels like they lost. You, on the other hand, have the Queen of Wands, the Tower card, and Patience. I don't feel like you're shutting the door on this person. Fair or not, I feel like if I'm going to accentuate one of them, I'm going to accentuate the romantic one. If that's what it is, you're giving this person a chance to just show them, for them to show you their true colors. I'm getting this person's going to go in the friend zone for a while, and if they really want a shot, they need to just kind of show you who they really are. They need to let down their defenses and stop trying to impress you so you can see who they really are, and then they might actually get a chance. If it's a friend or coworker, again, I feel like when they just calm down and stop trying to impress you and you see who they really are, I feel like you're going to have a chance to have a talk with this person and be like, okay, I know who you really are, and I see that you've calmed down. What was all this about? When you were telling me all these stories and all this other stuff, what was going on then? Why were you doing that? And there'll be a point in the future, I feel like no matter what the scenario is, where you can sit down with this person and say, you know, there was a point where I was considering saying yes to something, and then you changed my mind by doing X, Y, and Z. Why did you do X, Y, and Z? Like, what was really going on there? Because that really made me uncomfortable, and that's literally why I said no. And I feel like when they have a chance to explain, like, well, I thought you'd like this, or I thought you'd like that, or I didn't think you'd take me seriously unless I did this, I didn't think you'd take me seriously unless I did that. I feel like once they calm down and you see them for who they really are, things will rectify and they'll get another honest chance. Definitely for some of you, if you are dealing with a narcissist, and it's possible, it's easily possible, because especially with this energy, that's going to be you seeing who they truly are. When everything kind of backs off, you're going to see who this person truly is, because they're going to think they lost their opportunity, and you're going to notice a striking change in how they treat you, and you'll see who they really are. So I wouldn't worry about that. So if this is a narcissist, you saying no for now, true colors will come forth quite blazingly hot, quite sharply, quite vibrantly, like fluorescent, like fluorescent radioactive. So, and you'll walk away from that without any problem, and they won't bother you. But if it's the reverse and it's a good person, I feel like once they calm down and you see their true colors, you'll get an opportunity to talk with them and be like, this is why I said no before. Can you explain what was going on with that? And things will smooth out, everything will settle, and things will get better, a lot stronger between you and whoever you're dealing with. Anything else? All right, I think we're good. I mean, that was rose quartz, so now that I'm thinking of it, I'm like, not for nothing. Most of us, when we're having that love moment, aren't we usually drawn to rose quartz? Not everybody, granted, not everybody, but oddly enough, for rose quartz, for me, I'm usually drawn towards family. Like if I have family questions, I'm usually drawn towards rose quartz for whatever reason. For some reason, it's not really a romantic stone for me. It's more about like established love, like caring for each other love. It's a different type of love for me, not a physical, but like just like a family, a family love. Just just people, like when you have a holiday or a cookout, and you just like being around those people, and you feel comfortable and accepted, like you belong, like that type of love. So there's that. I don't know, me and my 2 cents. There you go. All right, the last one, Amethyst. All right, so we got that. We got our little channeled message down there. So for the people who chose Amethyst, what's going on with them? The people they're asking about, what's going on with them? For those who chose Amethyst, what's going on with the people? What's going on with those people? What's going on? I feel like we're going to do 2 here. Oh, there's a middle card. Why is there a middle card? That's already throwing me off. Let's find out if I can rectify that. Not throwing me off in a bad sense, but like, I don't think I did any of the other ones with a middle card. I did one other one with a bonus at the end, but not with the middle card. So let's find out what that's going to mean, because at this point, I don't really know, but it'll show itself soon enough. Curious. I really am curious. I'm like, well, we got a rogue card out here in the middle. What is it saying? What does it want us to know? No. Yep. Okay. So I think I'm going to cover that just for a minute, because this seems like this is a transition between what they're doing, like what's going on with them, and the transition between what's going on with them into like having an opportunity to make things better, that you can actually affect the situation. So there's some type of transition going on here is what I'm first getting. Alright, so you got the moon card on your side with the beginning. They have the change reversed. 6 of Swords, 7 of Cups reversed. Oh boy. Fair or not, I feel the easiest energy this is connecting with is with love energy, like romantic energy. Doesn't have to mean that's what it is for you. Granted, take it, leave it, whatever you got to do. Going through a change. See, they're fighting it. To me, this highlights each other. Like this says going through a change. This is change reversed. They're fighting it. They're not seeing that this is a good thing. It's almost like, I'm 44, just to be honest. And it's kind of like when you're getting older and you're just kind of like hating it. And you're just kind of like, oh, for example, for me, oh, when I was 30, blah, 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 blah. And like, I know that what's going to happen. I'll be in my 50s and I'll be like, oh, when I was in my 40s. And then I'll get into my 60s, right? And I'll be like, oh, when I was in my 50s. Like, I can already see me doing this. But but I feel like it's fighting that type of change. It's like things are changing, things are happening, but they're feeling like the best opportunities have been left in their past. And they've lost out on a lot. And they're like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. But now it's too late. Crumples in a ball of wet mess. This is the energy I feel like they're dealing with. It's kind of like a very pessimistic, like, oh my goodness, when I was in my 30s, I had my whole life ahead of me. And now I'm in my 40s, I'm pretty much dead now. Just kick me in the hole and throw some dirt. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it's kind of like the energy I'm feeling with this, which kind of makes me giggle because I'm a dork and I do that once in a while. But then I'll pull myself out of it after a while. But once in a while, I catch myself going, "Oh, when I was such and such an age, I had so many possibilities, and now I'm pretty much just blah, 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 whatever." But that's basically this energy. They're fighting it. The change is happening. Like it's kind of like it's moving forward. It is happening, but they're fighting it. They don't want it to happen. They're not seeing the possibilities. It's kind of like the new change has a lot more possibilities, but this is reversed, saying they don't believe in it and they're just trying to move on from it. They're trying to pretend it's not happening. They're walking away from all the things they could get from this moment. It's kind of like almost like losing a really good job and not realizing all the new possibilities. Like you have a possibility to go this way or that way, but kind of like you were so used to the living and the money you used to make with the old job. It's kind of like the shift in money is really scary and really uncomfortable, and it feels like the best times are behind you. Meanwhile, I know people who have gone through this, and literally at that moment, it's horrifying and scary. But I also know a person who took that moment, went back to college, made good on it, and now is in a whole nother very lucrative, completely different career than they originally were in. And it's just telling me there's a lot of possibilities for this person, but they're fighting it, fighting it, fighting it, fighting it, fighting it. You're seeing this opportunity for them, like you're seeing it as an opportunity. Like you have so much in front of you still. It's kind of like if you're like me and you're like, oh my God, I'm in my 40s, I'm pretty much dead, blah. And you look at, oh, when I was in my 30s, I had so many possibilities. Wow, wow, wow. It's kind of like somebody on the outside going, dude, you're not that old. Like, calm down. Do what you want to do. Live your life. You have a lot of it ahead of you. And it's kind of like you're looking at this person kind of like, how do they not see this? How do they not see other possibilities? How do they not know there's so much they can do? Just to be fair, because I am definitely getting this romantic feel with this, it's kind of like somebody has the ability to pick themselves up. They have the ability to really be happy. It's almost like you're interested in somebody that isn't interested in themselves. So if you're coming at this asking what's going on with them and it's a romantic nature, and the other person, you're just like, why aren't they coming towards me? Why aren't they trying to get my attention or whatever? It's because they don't see, they're not even, like you might be interested in them. Obviously, if that's the way this is coming, you're interested in them. They're not interested in themselves. They don't see their own value. They're like, whatever they're going through, like, I hate doing this age thing, but it's like the most prominent there. It's kind of like, I'm too old for that now. I don't see my appeal anymore. I don't see what anybody would want from me anymore. I don't have the same, spark or flair that I used to have, so I don't see why anybody would want me. If you're coming at this with a romantic way, and you're wondering why they're not moving forward, because they don't see their own self-value. They may have had it when they may have seen it when they were younger, but they don't see it currently for whatever reason. Or they're kind of like, my value is only skin deep, and once you really get to know me, you won't really want me. And they're afraid of you finding that out. They're fighting the change because they don't have interest in themselves. They don't see what's so great about themselves. It may look like it on the outside, but in the inside, they're having problems. Whew, okay. Amethyst is a spiritual stone the way I relate to it. So I'm wondering, with this transition card, oh, that's not. This feels very redundant to me. The Seven of Pentacles is kind of like, that's usually like things have been growing, things have been worked on, but they're not quite ready to be used. They're still in the process of the making. It's still the production part. It's still the growing part. It's kind of like when the apples are growing on the trees, but they're not to the point where you can pick them and eat them. It's that type of feel. And the path right with it, to me, it kind of mirrors the same energy. Kind of like they've been traveling. They got to get to the point where they pick themselves up and realize they're still on the same path. The journey is not over. It's kind of like that's the big thing with this person. The journey is not over. They got to get themselves up, dust themselves off, realize their own self-worth, which it's still there. It's just kind of like they got to pick it back up and realize, even though they're living day to day, they're like, they got to, how do I say this? Like, they're still living day to day. They just have to reconnect with their own self-value and realize it's still there. It never went anywhere. And I feel like once they get back on board, for some of them, I'm thinking they have some type of depression or something, depression, anxiety, something like that's going on there. Maybe somebody was mean to them. Maybe a couple people have shot them down and they're just having a insecurity moment, whatever. They need to come around and they need to kind of like give you a chance to show them what the value is here. For those of you coming at this in a romantic sense, I feel like you're going to have to really kind of like spark the engine, if you will, like jumpstart the car. You know what I mean? You might have to help the engine get started, but the car, you can't drive the car. That person's going to have to drive their own car. You can start the engine, but you can't drive the car. It's the best way I can put it. So the fear here with the Ace of Cups is like you giving this person a shot to see how valuable they really are. What is that? Is it the Princess of Wands? It makes me think of She-Ra, Princess of Power. I don't know why. No idea why. So for those of you who know that reference, that's going to be kind of hokey. But whatever. If you don't know it, look it up if you want. Look it up on YouTube. You'll probably find a cartoon about it. This person, you can jumpstart the car, but they have to drive it. So whatever it is you're dealing with this person, where they're not seeing their own value, and it doesn't have to be romantic. I know I went down that road, but it doesn't have to be that way, of course. They have to start moving towards the possibility that there's value in themselves still, because they feel like they're down on themselves. They have to start walking. They have to re-engage. Once they've re-engaged with themselves and they're willing to give it a shot, you can help boost them forward. Like once they start walking down the path, you can be like, here, borrow my bicycle. But they have to drive it down the path. Like they have to ride it down the path. You're like, you can borrow my bicycle. They have to choose to take it, of course. You can help them jumpstart the car. Like they have a car, they're walking, but you're like, I can help you jumpstart that car, but it's up to you to get to the shop so they can fix it. You can do that much. You know what I mean? You'll have an opportunity to help them get ahead and help continue their momentum forward, whatever it is going on here, because I feel like it's a self-esteem moment. I really do. But once they do, just realize they may go a different direction than you expect. That's the fear with the Ace of Cups. You have honest caring for this person. You know what you'd like to see them do. You definitely know what you'd like to see them do is what I'm getting. Fruition with the Princess of Wands, which don't get caught up in the gender, but Princess and Prince in this deck, they feel the same to me. Neither of them feel like a page. Neither of them feel like a knight. But I definitely feel like once they get their strength back, once they get their footing back, and they're feeling their value, I'm feeling fruition. I feel like they're realizing that, they still have what they need. They still have their strength. They can still have what they want. It's up to them to go to the next step. They may go a different direction than you're expecting. There's no guarantee what's going to happen, but I feel like once you give them a boost forward, within a couple weeks, I don't know what you're asking from them or what you want from them, but I feel like within a couple weeks you're going to know if they're going to go the direction you want them to or a different direction. Let's do that. Within a couple weeks, you'll know if they're going to go the direction you want them to go or a different direction. If they go a different direction, just accept it and let it go. So if it's a romantic interest and you want them to come towards you and they go a different way, you did a good thing by helping this person, but let it go is what I'm getting. They could go your way, but there's no guarantee. If it's something else, like you're trying to help out a friend, a coworker, a family member, and you're hoping for one thing for them and they take it a different direction, you just got to realize that it's their life and they have free will to do what they want. That's just what I'm getting from this. There's no guarantee it's going to work out the way you want it to. Just realize by helping them up and giving them a chance to really get up to their momentum, their true stride, their true ability, like getting their true strength back, by helping them get there, that's a great thing. And from there, it's up for them to choose what they want to do with it. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.